I just started over actually because I don't know why, but it looked like my recording clicked off. So I'm going to lay this spread out again actually so that I will have shuffled this for the reading. I'm not somebody who would want to shuffle ahead of time and then provide us a layout reading. God, what is happening here? Maybe I'm not supposed to do this reading. My God, all my cards are all messed up. What is going on here? Okay, so this reading is going to be what's happening in our unconscious. What is our shadow? What is tuning into our shadow side? How will that benefit us right now? What are some shadow messages for us that might help us to understand what's going on for us in the unconscious? And like I was saying before, I'm doing this reading in part because I want to see how this setup is going. I quit being lazy and set up my mic. I did have a mic. I just didn't ever get serious about using it very often. Put some lights up, lit some candles, just trying to dink around with what kind of setting is going to look good for these readings when I'm doing a reading inside. I'm open to feedback. And also getting used to, if you like my readings here and you like my other topics that I post about, please like and subscribe to this channel. If you're interested in being interviewed for my channel, please reach out on my Instagram. You can send me a message via my Instagram account. So what's happening for us in our unconscious? How might doing some shadow work benefit us right now? Okay. Super interesting. I don't tend to use reversals because I don't think they're necessary when you use layouts like this. You can understand what the message being given to you when you use layouts. There are enough cards that, in my opinion, you don't necessarily need to use reversals in tarot readings. I'm not against them, and I know how to read for reversals, but lately I've been just doing layouts with the intention that reversals are not going to be a factor, and if a message needs to be conveyed without a card coming in the reverse. And if you're learning cards, you can do things like that. You make your own relationship with your cards, and I prefer not to have to read reversals because I read layouts. So in this column over here, this is representative of our conscious mind, what we are conscious of and what we're thinking about and maybe actively working towards. And in our mind element, in our mind center, it's the Eight of Pentacles. So we're focused on work. We're focused on making our goals happen. We're focused on hard work. That's a card of hard work. It's a card of enjoying your work as well. It's not a grind. It's work that you know is going to get you somewhere and that you enjoy doing. In our heart energy that we're conscious of is the Five of Swords. So we're in some kind of conflict, either with another person or with our shadow. We might be in conflict with ourselves. Because this is a shadow reading, the heart center with the Five of Swords here might indicate that we're a little bit at war with ourselves and we may not feel entirely comfortable with circumstances in our life. But let's see. Because what's really interesting is our shadow, our unconscious side. I mean, it's not always a dark, negative energy. It's often just unconscious. And here, the shadow cards are very successful, joyful cards. So in the unconscious mind, we have the success card. It's the Chariot. So something's happening for you in the unconscious, like on a soul level, where you might be really happy because you're working in alignment with who you are at a core level. In internal family systems, we call that self-energy. The spiritual community tends to call it like your higher self or the divine aspect of yourself, your divine feminine or masculine in terms of energy poles. And this unconscious part of you is feeling very joyful about this work that you're doing and about the direction you're heading. So I think that's kind of an affirmation, really, that you're in alignment with what your soul is hoping you're going to do. And in your heart, what you're not conscious of is that you're really feeling love, whether this is love towards yourself, like a self-love energy, or whether it's romantic love for somebody else. You might be fighting that. That's kind of the sense I get here, is that any affection and joy and hope you might have for some kind of a situation here, you're kind of also at odds with yourself about it. Like maybe you are saying things to yourself like, God, get over that person. It's been 2 years. Why are you still carrying this torch for them, right? Or something like that. So it's just kind of an inner conflict that's being reflected here about the love you feel and the joy and success that you're sort of feeling at this unconscious level, or this hoping against hope maybe. How to bring these two sides of yourself together is what's represented in the central column. And what's going on in the unseen is a judgment. So all of this sort of inner conflict and love you're feeling has sort of brought you to a judgment day. You might be going through an awakening, for example, where you're waking up to the fact that I can't seem to get beyond this relationship, or I can't seem to get past this inner conflict, or I'm really working hard and I really want to cross over into a threshold of success. What's going on under the surface is a judgment day. So that's a good thing. It's what's interesting at the heart of things is that you may not be aware of this yet at all. You might feel stuck, like you're working, you're in conflict, you're at odds with yourself somewhat, because at the very heart of this reading is the Hanged Man. So to me, that really is reflective of some of this inner conflict that you're feeling that might have you feeling stuck and stagnating, and a little bit held back against your will. The Hanged Man is not usually self-imposed. It's usually something that life does. It puts you in a position of being powerless, where you really don't have a choice. You're not the driving force in goings on. But often when you're in the Hanged Man position, you're learning on a deep level, like on an unconscious level, for example. So that's at the very heart of things. That while there's this major kind of difference between what's happening for you unconsciously and what you're allowing yourself to think about, there's this conflict, the inner conflict, and it's got you feeling stuck. That's the center of things. Where the energy is headed is the Page of Pentacles, so the creation of something new. The Page of Pentacles is a young, fresh, new energy of bringing things into fruition. So it would be considered a progression of this Eight of Pentacles into like, wow, you're finally starting to see the results of your hard work. So let's pull maybe some cards here about what is the conflict? Why are you feeling this Five of Swords in your heart consciously? Like your unconscious mind seems to be kind of feeling happy and joyful about things and loving about a circumstance that for some reason on a conscious level you're not allowing. So what could that be? What is this Five of Swords related to here? It might have to do with realm of the heart. The Two of Cups is in the heart of the unconscious part of you. It's definitely coming to a head. There's going to be some shifts happening. This Hanged Man energy might be where you're at presently, but just know that going on under the surface is a pretty big judgment day or an awakening about this circumstance and about your life. So what's up with the Five of Swords? The King of Wands, the Nine of Swords, and the Justice card. So you are having some fears. You're really in your head. Even though this is a conflict of the heart, you're battling this conflict out in your mind, and you're not very receptive to being in your heart energy right now. And I think that's what's got you at odds and feeling stuck, is that you're fighting some of these deeper feelings that you know to be true, and it's pushing you to a brink. It's pushing you to kind of a judgment day where you're lost in your mind. You might be having, like, imagining the worst possible scenarios, right? That's kind of Nine of Swords energy. You might be worried that you're going to get your just desserts, or karma's going to come back and get you really hard, because we also have the Justice card here. So a Judgment card along with the Justice card. I mean, you might be a Libra, but really what I'm picking up is that you have a lot of fear around this situation. fear. You're in a, I don't know though, this King of Wands isn't, I mean, a King of Wands is not a fearful archetype. So I'm not sure if you're fearful about this King of Wands or if you are someone who more likes to be driven by your fire element and all of a sudden you're too much in the mind. You're trying to get back into an energy of creative fire. This helps you bring in this Page of Pentacles, new realities. What is it? I don't know. Who's the King of Wands here? Is that you or what? So this conflict is about a relationship because now here's a Queen of Pentacles. So a king and queen showing up here in the conflict indicates to me that this is a conflict for you about a relationship in your life. It could also be a conflict with your inner masculine and feminine polarities within you. The Ace of Wands, it's a conflict in the fire. It's invoking a lot of passion in you, this situation in general. And passion is volatile. So there's volatile energy here. There's conflict of the mind. There's passion in the heart, urge to drive forward, Ace of Wands. And for whatever reason, you're not trusting this or you're not allowing this passionate energy to move forward yet because of this conflict you feel in your heart. Yeah, it's a conflict about love because the conflict with the Five of Swords and the Two of Cups in your heart centers, conscious and unconscious. Now here's the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Cups. And this is these are 3 decks now. So the message is coming out pretty clearly that this is a conflict for you about a relationship with somebody that you love. And the part of you that wants to be with them is not quieting down. They are really trying to drive and influence your decision making right now. So it would really benefit you to slow down. This is the energy I'm picking up on these cards. I would stop fighting yourself in your conscious mind around this relationship. It's okay to allow yourself to experience the feelings. It doesn't mean that you're going to act impulsively. There's a fear here that you have that the energy is too intense or too fiery and it's going to drive you into impulsive decision making maybe, or just a feeling of being out of control. This is something about this relationship that makes you feel out of control and uneasy. And luckily there's things, I mean, you don't know, you're not obligated to anyone. So you might be really feeling a lot of love and passion for this person, but you're uneasy about that for whatever reason. So let's get some oracle cards on this, and then I'm going to wrap up this reading because I live in a rural setting and uploading to YouTube takes quite a while. So I'm going to have to learn some tricks for when to upload when it's quieter, and maybe I won't have to use hours of my time on my phone uploading, right? So what's something you should know about this? What's going to be helpful for you to understand that you're at odds with yourself over this love relationship? It's somebody that you love romantically or that you have feelings for. And the unconscious part of you that is really trying to be allowed expression wants to be allowed to love this person. It's your reasonable element of the mind, the air element in you that's fighting this and that's in conflict with it, with this Nine of Swords and the Five of Swords. What's important for you to know about this conflict that you're feeling? Time for a nap. So to get out of this Nine of Swords and Five of Swords energy, it's going to be a good time for you to turn this over to a higher power, for example, or find some way to detach. Either cut cords of attachment to this relationship. It doesn't mean you have to cut cords with the person altogether, but you can cut cords with the stress you're feeling around it. You can practice radical acceptance, right? Practice acceptance that there might be nothing for you to do about this relationship right now other than take a break and get your mind off it and stop worrying. This is going to help you come out of that Nine of Swords energy. Time for a nap. And co-create. So I'm going to read her descriptions here just in case there's some nice information, but I kind of have the sense here that you are really going to need to rest your mind right now so that you can get back into an energy of co-creating with your shadow self. And that's really the ideal place that you want to be. You don't want to be ignoring your shadow. You don't want to be neglecting your shadow. You don't want to be suppressing it or trying to tell it to shut up or force it into a corner. That's not a healthy way to integrate the darker aspects of yourself or the aspects of yourself that you don't are acceptable. And in this situation, it's feeling for some reason that you don't feel that your love for this person is acceptable for whatever reason. So the first advice is to rest your mind and get your mind off it. What else? Co-create in the reverse, though. So what does that mean? You're trying too hard to create all that you desire without the nurturing vital force of spirit. Yeah, you're too much in your own head, right? That's why you're being advised to rest here. Rest your mind. Perhaps you are in a creative slump, suffering with writer's block, facing a monumental task, but unable to decide on your first step, the Hanged Man. So you just avoid doing anything. Does the word overwhelmed apply to you right now? I totally pick up that on these tarot cards. Why do you feel that everything has to come down to you? Inspiration means the drawing in of divine guidance. You must tap into spirit, not simply yourself. Ask spirit for inspiration. Two minds are greater than one, so co-create with your divine partner. Reclaim your partnership with spirit. Inspiration will flow through you as you get out of your own way. What a great reading. I hope that's useful to you today. This is a reading that I've been giving on my Instagram for about a year now. I'm a therapist as well, so I love doing shadow work. And I love doing spreads that reveal what our shadow might be trying to tell us, that we're fighting or that we're at odds with, right? Here, I love it because it's a shadow side that's trying to get you to trust your heart more. It's not a negative, addictive, demonic shadow part of you, right? It's a part of you that just wants the freedom to express the love that they're feeling. So give your mind a rest, take a nap, and turn some of this over to something greater than yourself. And trust that the universe is working with you. So I hope you enjoy. Thank you much. And one thing I'll be working on is how to have a little remote to stop and start this so my videos are not me coming into the shot and then exiting.